The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. 44 for Jalen Brunson today against Milwaukee. The most points in Knicks franchise history for someone that played under 30 minutes. He played 28-47. Cat, 30 and 18. And the Knicks follow up their worst loss in terms of point differential by their biggest win in terms of point differential this year, blowing out the Bucks by 34, 140-106. Great to have you with us. Bill Pito along with Wally Zerbiak. Huge change for the Knicks compared to what we saw against OKC on Friday night. Why were they so much better?
Complete tone set by Jalen Brunson, the captain, in the first quarter. He came out aggressive, got himself going with a couple quick buckets. Their supposed stopper, Andre Jackson, got him into foul trouble with 2 fouls early on, and then Jalen Brunson just took over in that first quarter. I thought the Knicks were a step faster. This Milwaukee Bucks team, the matchups are perfect for the Knicks because OG Anunoby is a really good matchup for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is going to get some points, but it's going to be difficult for him to just overpower and dominate the game because of what a good defender OG Anunoby is. And then Damian Lillard, he had a pretty good game, but at times you can take him out of what he wants to do by switching pick and rolls and stuff like that. So overall, this was a feel-good win. It's good to see those threes go down, 18 threes. Makes life a lot easier when you knock down the shots.
Thankfully, Brunson appears to be okay. Took a shot, it looked like, in that right shoulder in the third quarter. Went into the locker room, but came back out to finish up his 44-point performance. Let's take a look at the highlights from the game, Wally. The Knicks opened up a 13-point lead at the half. They blew it out in the second half, and Brunson had his best ever first quarter with 23 first-quarter points.
Yeah, and he was just looking aggressive. He was making his threes. He got himself into rhythm. Giannis Antetokounmpo got going a little bit under the basket, but I thought the Knicks did a good job of making him shoot over the top of the defense, not giving him a lot of dunks and stuff like that. How about Karl Anthony Towns? He loves playing against these guys.
He had 32 in the first meeting.
I know, and 30 in this meeting. It's a tough matchup. They wanted to keep Giannis on Karl Anthony Towns. They thought that was the best matchup to slow him down. But also, what about Cameron Payne? I mean, he was outstanding, just knocking down threes all over the place. Point a minute, Cameron Payne, when he came into the game, actually more than a point a minute at 18 points in 14 minutes. And then in the third quarter, the Knicks just came out nailing triples all over the place. It's one of those things where when you start a game properly and you get yourself off to a good start at home, it's like skiing downhill. Everything just flows into place.
Look at the three-point shooting improvement. We talked in the pregame. 29% for the Knicks from downtown in the last 10. In this one, they go 18 of 47, and Brunson, who had been 7 for his last 45, in this game went 5 for 10. So the shooting was a lot better, and that helped the Knicks to 140 points, beating the Bucks by 34. If you were Brunson, and I asked him on the court, because you've often been a scorer on teams, obviously, in your career, would your approach have been what it was? I got to come out on fire, make sure we get off to a good start based on how things have been going here with 4 losses in their last 5 coming into this game?
Definitely. As a point guard, you got to read the situation, what your team needs. He obviously saw last game, team was struggling to score, struggling to find baskets, got off to a little bit of a slow start in that game. Now, it's also dictated by how the team is defending you that you're going up against, but I think Jalen Brunson saw matchups that he liked in this one, and he said, I got to put my imprint on this game early. I got to get the pressure off my teammates because some of my teammates are struggling a little bit with their confidence, and as a result, he just came out with a vengeance. And when he sets that kind of tone offensively, then you have to start double teaming him. That opens up a lot of stuff for everyone else. There are 2 guys on this team that you really don't have to worry about finding a way to get to 20 or 25, and that's obviously Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. When those 2, here's the injury. Looks like he just got jammed on the shoulder. Hopefully it's nothing too bad.
He's able to come back into the game.
Yeah.
You know, when he calls immediately, say, I'm going to the locker room, obviously we were all concerned. Comes back into a rousing ovation and was able to pretty much finish what he needed to finish.
Scary part, luckily it looks like he's going to be okay. He was icing that shoulder down, but this is something where, Jalen has to manage that. Look at that shot chart. That is balance personified.
He didn't even play 30 minutes.
I know. 29 minutes. He just
took 26 shots.
Yeah, he had a great matchup. Every turn he made, he had a guy he could score on, and that's incredible balance there to be knocking down shots all over the court like that.
They kept having A.J. Green guard Jalen Brunson, and I don't think it worked too well, do you?
Well, it didn't matter who guarded him. He torched Andre Jackson. He torched A.J. Green. He torched Pat Connaughton when he was on him. And Connaughton's known to be a defender, and so is Andre Jackson. So he's just a good scorer, and he can get his shot whenever he wants, and he was able to create a lot of good offense for himself.
You know, it's really interesting. We've talked a lot about Brunson's approach. He doesn't always go for the 40-point games, but it seems like he knew that his team needed him to come out strong and come out strong early to get them off to the nice start.
No question. And he's had big games against Milwaukee in the past. There's something about the spacing on the floor when he comes off those pick and rolls with Brook Lopez out here, who's a drop big. He likes to play drop coverage. At times when you don't pick up Jalen Brunson coming off the screen, you don't have two guys right there to corral him. He's just going to pick you apart. And I think that's what he saw early on in this game. And he continued to attack, and he continued to just have, you know, probably his most efficient, best game of the season with 44 points in 29 minutes.
Any correlation between how they shoot and how they ultimately win? Because when they shoot the ball, but it seems like they're not able to compensate when they're not
Chuck
shooting
Daly said, the great, rest in peace, Chuck Daly, the great coach said, shooting covers up for a multitude of sins on the basketball floor. If you got guys that can shoot, and you mess up a couple times on the defensive end of the floor, that shooting is going to cover up on the offensive end of the floor for a lot of things. So when the shots go in, it makes life a lot easier.
Against OKC, the Knicks go 4 of 31 from downtown tonight. And this one, 18 of 41. I guess it does
cover up
a lot of sins. Monica McNutt now joins us. She helped call the game on ESPN.
Hold on, Vito, before you start. Wally, let me get I'm going to give you an amen, because shooting covers up a multitude of sins. Woo, chow. Yes, in fact, it does. It's so good to see this team have such an efficient night from the three-point line, particularly led by Jalen Brunson, who was 50% and knocked down 5 threes on this Sunday while he was preaching about shooting. Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Can I get a witness from the congregation?
Oh, look at you, man. What you find out?
As the late, great Stuart Scott made famous back in the heyday of SportsCenter. So can I introduce you again, Monica?
Yes,
or,
go ahead.
or have
Continue.
you been properly introduced at this point? How about Brunson? Phenomenal.
Fantastic. And I think Tyler and I were talking with Pat O'Keefe in our post-game report, the feel of the night, right? Yes, you look at these games, and he has certainly left it all out on the floor, as he always does. He's gotten to the cumulative points by the end of a ball game. But tonight, you could really see that it was like, okay, it's time to get back on the right side of the column with the W. And his attitude, his approach, his relentless spirit, setting the tone, having that 23-point first quarter was huge, I think, for the duration of the ballgame. And then, I know we're talking Brunson now, but then Towns has the big second quarter. And so you get back to the combination that allowed this team to have so much success early this season. Brunson, to me, though, I mean, he sent Andre Jackson to the bench in terms of foul trouble, and he is a terrific defender. He made the most of the times that A.J. Green was guarding him, figuring out exactly where he could go to his spots. And again, we started this conversation here, seeing him confidently hit threes. And of course, going out with the shoulder, coming back in, getting a big-time and-one play, and then knocking down another three before he rightfully so got time to get off his feet down the stretch in this ballgame. This was a really great effort by this entire team. And of course, Jalen Brunson, the captain, is the head of that.
Monica, what about Cameron Payne? I was looking up player efficiency rating for the Knicks. He is 4th on the Knicks, behind 1st Towns, 2nd Brunson, 3rd Josh Hart. When he plays, he produces 18 points in 14 minutes. What did you see from him?
Well, we actually asked Cameron Payne about being able to stay ready as this team is kind of riding the ebbs and flows. And frankly, his minutes have been ebbed and flowed throughout the course of the season. And he said for him, it's just about staying ready. It's about getting in the gym. It's about doing whatever it is that this team needs for him to be successful. So tonight, again, the three-point shooting, as a collective, we saw him knock down some threes. We saw his change of pace make an impact in this basketball game, because he's one of the guys that likes to play fast. And of course, just his overall energy on the floor, communicating with his guys, flying around defensively. I just think that veteran experience, whether it's a 10-minute night for him or more, you know, that has fluctuated. He's always ready with whatever it was. And tonight he played that 14-20 tonight.
All right, Monica, tomorrow the Pistons are in town tomorrow night, arguably the most improved team in the entire league.
Yes.
They won only 14 games last year. They've won 20 this year. And remember, they beat the Knicks here at MSG
I do
in December.
remember. Look, here's the thing with the Pistons that I've enjoyed watching this team. Even when we went to Detroit and the Knicks took care of that business handily, you could see, though, the pieces that team has. They've got length. They've got athletic guys. Cade Cunningham, similar to Jalen Brunson, is the type of guy that it's not easy to speed up. He does have a little bit more size than Brunson. And so under Bickerstaff, they're all starting to put it together. Now, rest disadvantage Knicks, all of that tonight. But I do think there's something that I would like to believe, and in my observation at least, something sort of clicked tonight for this Knicks squad in terms of the urgency that they have to play with. And Cameron Payne kind of said as much to us post-game when we had a chance to talk with him on the radio.
All right, Monica, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.